first thing, I'm just gonna get it out of the way now. I bleached my roots last night, so now they're all orange, so I am gonna be toning them while I'm talking because I like to multitask, and I got this really good purple shampoo. So I'm just gonna be putting it in my hair while I'm talking. Hello, welcome back to my channel. So, Gina Carano, who played Cara Dune in The Mandalorian, has just been fired. Let's talk about that. So, Gina was fired, quote, following offensive social media posts. And honestly, this is something I didn't see coming because for a long time she'd been like making these comments, and Lucasfilm didn't really say anything about it. And even when Pedro Pascal like walked off the set during the filming of The Mandalorian season 2, Lucasfilm like kind of tried to keep it under wraps, the true reasoning for his walkout, that being him having an altercation with Gina about her beliefs. And what are her beliefs, you might ask? Well, believing in election fraud, being an anti-masker, implied transphobia, what was the other one? Oh, comparing a modern-day Republican to a Jew during the Holocaust. I should be using gloves. Oh well. So honestly, you'd think it would be kind of common sense for Disney to fire her. Like, she's a public figure that's heavily associated with a pretty family-oriented company, and her expressing these beliefs can look really bad on the brand, and at the end of the day, like, they're a business. So if you had an employee at your business who is bringing negative attention to the business, it makes sense to just remove that source of the negative attention, right? I thought that would be, like, the general understanding of the situation. I was wrong. Hashtag cancel Disney Plus was like trending on Twitter after the articles came out that she was fired. And I just like, really? You're canceling an entire service because of one actor in one show? Like, do you know how much shit is on Disney Plus? It's like being the customer at the Apple store that threatens to take their business to Samsung if they don't like get special help or some discount or something. When in reality, the Apple person that you're talking to literally does not care because Apple is going to do just fine without your business, and they're probably glad that you're leaving because you're being an annoyance, you know? Does that make sense? Like, the billion-dollar company of Disney is really not going to get their feelings hurt over Margaret tweeting her disappointment at them. I have a feeling I'm going to use this whole bottle because these roots are real fucking orange. And I really don't want orange roots on Valentine's Day, so. I'm trying not to do the ends of my hair because they're already like purpley because the shampoo is like really, really purple. Like if you have bleached ass hair like I do and you need like a good purple shampoo, I got this one at Target for like $10. It's the Kristen S. The One Purple Shampoo. That's what it looks like. Also, is it not like a little bit funny that these people are so mad about cancel culture ruining everything? But like, are they not kind of actively partaking in cancel culture by doing this? And I think that John Pavlovitz said it best when he tweeted and said that, quote, people with power and influence facing tangible consequences for the dangerous filth they generate isn't part of some left-wing conspiracy cancel culture. It's just adult accountability. Welcome to consequence culture. And honestly, I think that his tweet is like the perfect response to the argument that Gina's fans are trying to make of like, cancel culture is so toxic, she got fired for just expressing her opinion. They're trying to censor her and take away her freedom of speech. Hey man, literally they're not doing that. You're confusing freedom with speech with freedom from consequences. Those two things are not synonymous. If Gina didn't have freedom of speech, she wouldn't have been able to say what she did in the first place. And even though she got fired, she still has freedom of speech. Like, she's liking tweets that are supporting her and her opinions, and also like shading Pedro, even though he had nothing to do with what she said, but okay. And she's still gonna have these opinions and express them because she has freedom of speech. Her freedom of speech was literally never at risk. And again, freedom of speech does not equal freedom from consequences. Like, it literally, I don't know, to me, it makes sense that when you say Republicans are treated just as bad as the Jews were during the Holocaust, your employer is obviously not gonna like that. Especially when your employer, despite like having more adult content, it's a pretty family and child oriented company still. Her getting fired is not an example of freedom of speech being taken away. It's an example of a fully grown adult having consequences for what they say. And there's nothing wrong with that. I still just don't get the whole canceling the Disney subscription because of it. Like, her character was not even important. Let's be honest. She was in like 2 or 3 episodes in season 2, and like she was barely even there. She was in 1 episode. Like, she was in the episode for the lab thing when they found out that Moff Gideon was still alive. She was there for that, you know. She was there. She did something. But like, what else was she there for? Her character's not that important. Like, especially now that Fennec and Boba have been introduced. I don't know if they're going to continue to be in The Mandalorian because, again, Boba has his own show that's going to be coming out, so I don't know. But, like, the show is not going to, like, struggle without her character. It has a lot of strong characters. For example, if they keep, like, Bo-Katan and Ahsoka, golden. If they keep bringing Luke around, golden. Like, literally, you don't need this one character. Especially, and I get, like, I understand the questions of, like, well, what is Disney gonna do? Like, how are they gonna, like, I guess, get rid of her in the show? I don't really think that matters. As for, like, because I think she was gonna be the main character in the Rangers of the New Republic series that they're making, but, like, recast it. It's really not that hard. Like, Hollywood is not lacking in the actor department. I will say it does suck that, like, for a lot of people, I guess women specifically, she was seen as, like, a pretty powerful icon of, like, the strong woman, you know? So that does suck that there are those girls that lost that representation, but I think that more people are, like, fine with not having it anymore because of, like, the person that portrayed the character. This wasn't a very long rant, but if you know me, like, if you've been on my channel before, it is no secret that Star Wars is, like, my life, and I love it very much. I grew up with all of them. Clone Wars is, aside from Euphoria, Clone Wars is, like, literally my favorite show, and Mandalorian. So I felt like talking about it because, in a way, it affects me. Actually, it doesn't, but it's news in something that I enjoy, and so I felt like talking about it because it's my channel, you know? I do want to know you guys' thoughts. Like, do you agree with her getting fired? Do you not agree with her getting fired? I think, personally, what I think is, like, I don't think that they just out of nowhere were like, you're fired. Like, I would assume that she had people being like, hey, maybe you shouldn't, like, be saying these things. Like, someone at Disney just being like, hey, what you're saying goes against the Disney brand, and you work for Disney, it would be in your best interest to please not tweet these certain things anymore. Like, I have a feeling that's what happened. Like, she was given a warning, you know? Like, they aren't gonna fire her out of nowhere, I don't think. Just out of a business aspect, it literally makes sense. Like, it would be the same, I guess, like, a lot of people are being like, oh my god, okay. So, fucking Gina, she liked this tweet that was like, Gina, a pro-Trump female, was fired, yet Pedro, an anti-Trumper, keeps his job? And it was like shaming Pedro for some reason. Here's the thing. You were not fired because you're pro-Trump. There are so many people at Disney that are Republican. Like, actors and, like, the big people up there. They're, like, it's statistically impossible for you to be the only Republican at Disney. It's just not true. You weren't fired because you're a Republican. You were fired because you compared yourself to a Jew in the Holocaust. Are you able to, like, see how that's not an okay thing to say? Going back to what I was, like, trying to say is, like, if the roles were reversed where it was, like, Pedro was like, let's break into Trump's house. let's kidnap him, let's cut his head off, let's put it on a stake. Like, if he was so, you can be anti-Trump, but if he was, like, talking about, like, killing him or something, then I feel like Disney would have the same response of, like, it's not the fact that she was expressing her political views. It was that she was expressing very extremist views that went against, you know, the more family safe image of her company. But, I mean, that's just me. I don't know. Y'all don't have to agree. Let me know what you do think, though. I think I'm done ranting about this. I'm gonna eat a Hot Pocket and let this sit in my hair. I hope you enjoyed watching. If you did, be sure to like, because I have a feeling that if Star Wars boys find this, this will be my most disliked video. So if you guys could like it to counteract that, I'd appreciate it. And then stay tuned, because podcast is coming out Monday, and then I have not like a big video plan, but one that's going to take a little bit of time to prep, so be on the lookout for that. And I love you all, and I will see you, I guess, Monday for the podcast. Okay, goodbye.